Alright guys, how are we all? It is great to see you all. It's your boy Roguelike Duck, and guys, I want to do a bit of a sort of a Brawl Stars analysis, sort of explain a bit of a slowdown on how the professionals play, and I thought what better way to do it than this amazing game of Omen Elite in IX Gaming. Just a few days ago on the September Finals Day 2, and they were playing in Factory Rush, which is a siege map, and I know if you're like me, Siege is probably not one of your best game modes, so I thought if we sort of break it down and slow down how they play a bit, we might be able to get a bit of a better understanding on how we can play Siege a bit better, and also just sort of play the game a bit better. If you end up liking this, give the video a like, don't forget to subscribe. I want to do more of these. I also want to go into the set for Triple Dribble on Brawl Ball, because I thought that was a really fantastic game as well. And this whole set of games was fantastic, so if you have time, go watch them. The Omen Elite versus IX Gaming was just, it was a roller coaster. But moving on, so we'll just get into the first game. So here we go, we're coming in now. So on the blue side, we've got Zulan on Pam, using the star power where Pam will heal when doing damage. Max with the star power where running will reload, I forget the name of it, and we've got, and that's Tyrant Star on Max, and Corey's on Carl using the faster swing with the pickaxe. But then on the red side, we've got Zar on Pam, but using Mama's Squeeze, so dealing damage inside the healing turret. Crying's on Piper with the snappy sniping, so reloading when doing hits. And Second's on Max using a different star power than Tyrant Star. Second is using the star power where Max will charge her super as she's running. So have a bit of a look and see how these guys sort of go into the lane. So we can already see the Maxes are going off together here on this side, and we can see that Crying and Zar are looking to take control of mid. Corey's kind of uncontested here, but you'll see how that goes soon enough. So you can see Corey on the right starting to apply pressure on Pam. Second is doing really well at pushing back Tyrant Star. See these guys fight. And Crying has helped eliminate Corey over on the right, so that's given Zar full control over this area. We've got no Maxes here, they've both killed each other, and Zulan and Crying are now facing off for control of the mid. So left is uncontested at all, and Zar has full control over right. So watch how this plays out from here. So we have a tie, and then the 2v1, we've lost Zulan, and now IX Gaming have the whole control. So now we're going into a 2v3, and you can see down here, and this is really good, Zar's placed his turret here, and that's given Zar full control of this area because of Mama's Squeeze. So anyone in it is taking damage, which Corey has already experienced. And then we have a 2v1 happening here, Tyrant Star versus Crying in second, which is not ideal. And Zulan is just getting back, you can see him just down on the bottom there. So there's Corey's gone. Now Zulan, I don't think Zulan realizes Zar's got Mama's Squeeze. She's placed this turret right inside, and you'll see this turret just dies from the star power. They don't even have to do anything about it. And now Crying is also coming over as well. Now at this point, IX Gaming has full uncontested control of the mid where the bolts are spawning. Tyrant Star and Second keep fighting, and Second's coming out on top, and Second's just mostly looking after mid and left. Crying is taking full control over mid, but also helping out on the fights between all 3 lanes, and Zar is sitting here comfortably, having control of both mid and right lane. So they're both sort of separating their duties between the lanes, and Omen Elite just keep kind of trickling in and taking on 2v1s. So they've got free reign, and you'll see this a lot as well in your own games, that teams will just trickle in. So if you just sort of control the lanes and take fights in 2v1s, you can just maintain control of important objectives like the gem mine, or in this case the siege bolts. So we'll keep watching. Okay. So I want to point that out. We'll go back. So Tyrant Star and Zulan are running in. Now watch what Zulan does down here, down the bottom here. Places the healing turret, and I'm sure Zulan knew as soon as it happened. I'm pointing this out for you guys at home. If you're playing Pam, you don't want to put your turret out in the open like that. The ideal location for this turret would have been here or here, because we can see Tyrant Star is starting to apply pressure on second. Corey's coming in, applying pressure to Zar. So Zulan's 1v1 would be Crying, and Crying would more than likely back out of that fight. So then Zulan can help Tyrant Star with the fight against second or against Zar, because Zar's probably going to be coming back this way now against Corey. So, but watch what happens to the healing turret. You've already seen, but Crying just removes it from the equation. Now at this point, Omen Elite's starting to push them back, and Zar has done a really great thing. Turret was there, moved the turret back here, which, perfect. But you can see exactly what Zular's doing now. Going to be dropping the turret right there in the moment of squeeze, but that's fine. I think it was mostly just for the burst healing, just to help push IX Gaming back. Now watch this defense, because this is a fantastic defense. You can see Zulan is fighting against the siege bot, dies. Look at how much health it had left by the time it get back. So let's watch that defense again, because it's really quite fantastic. That Zulan takes damage in the middle there. They're all just hitting it. By the time it gets down to the Ike, it's down to 7,000 health, 6,000 health. They only drop to 74%. Against a bot like that, fantastic. Now this is really good here. Crying has opened up this area, which means they no longer have defense there. Now why this is important is because this is where Zulan could have dropped a healing turret to help the fight against second. So they now no longer have access to that cover. So if you're playing Piper, creating openings where you can remove places for turrets to have cover and also open up your line of sight, because now Crying has full access to here, which previously Crying did not have. You might have also noticed they've swapped lanes, so Corey's coming over here to fight the Max and Tyrant Star's coming over with the Pam, and watch how that shapes out, because I think it was a really good decision to make that swap. You can see Tyrant Star's pushing back Zar, the damage. Corey's pushed back seconds. Zular's now coming over to help the fight against Zar. Corey's pushed into the healing turret. Now they have control. So just like that, they've swapped out their fights. They've come in as a group, and they've completely pushed back the enemy. Now second wasn't killed, but second was definitely pushed back by the pressure, and Tyrant Star and Zulan just came at Zar from both angles. There was nothing to be done. Crying was pushed back. It was just it was a fantastic push. They've taken control of the mid. Now they've only got a small bot, but watch how they push this through, because it's also quite a good defense from IX Gaming, but nowhere near as good as the defense that Omen Elite had coming through. And they pushed with the turret as well, with the bot, sorry. And Omen Elite ends up taking this round. So we'll go through onto the next game. Alright, so we're coming in, and there's no changes to star powers or characters in this next round. They're going in with the same loadouts that they had before, so we'll just go through. Now, the interesting thing here is they've all just sort of come through in the mid, so they're positioning themselves this way for the fight, taking on the fights this way. It's interesting, but you'll see they do disperse into their lanes very shortly. So second starts to come over to the left, Zar's coming over to the right, Crying's in the mid. Crying takes out Tyrant Star immediately. Crying's Piper was fantastic in this game. It was just really, really well done. And as you can see, they've already taken control. Now look at that, look at how early Crying has opened up this space. Within the first round, they've taken the time with the first round, and Crying's already opened this space up, which now just leaves Corey completely exposed for Crying or second, just to completely wipe out. Zulan can no longer use this wall for cover for the healing turret, so it's just completely opened it up. Zulan has to rely on this, and as we know, Zar loves to put the healing turret there and apply pressure very close. So keep watching, see how this goes. One thing I want to point out as well, what's really interesting with second using the other star power, is that you might have already noticed, but second charges it up, gives the boost to the full team, and that's another advantage that IX Gaming has had over Omen Elite and helped with applying the pressure. It's because they constantly, it feels like, had speed boost on, which made it a lot harder to flank and get in those poking shots, to charge supers. Made it a lot harder for any of Omen Elite to really secure any kills, because they were always so fast and getting healed up so often by Zara in second, and it just made Crying an absolute demon. Like, Crying just did so well. Tyrant Stars put on the speed boost, placing the pressure up here, unfortunately gets knocked down. Now again, I really don't like some of the placements for the healing turret that Zulan does. So once again, right there in the opening, there's not really any cover, and it's in the Mama's Squeeze. Very quickly gets blown up. So IX is just dominating. The way Zar, I mean, we got to appreciate that. Watch how Zar dips between shots while healing up over here in this top right corner. Just watch this. You got to respect it. You got to respect the game. Look at that. So fantastic. Crying's just dominating Corey over on the left here. The opening of this wall here is so important. Just the way Crying has been able to really just apply pressure down all three lanes, it is shocking. So once again though, Omen Elite come in with a great defense. This is a level 13 siege bot, and just see what they do. So here it comes. Now look, Zulan's coming straight in. Blocks it, blocks it, blocks it. Corey comes in now, popping super. And by the time Zulan respawns, the bot's just getting here. Now you do notice as well, Crying's opening up this area, which didn't happen before, so. Look at that. Only 87%. Really good defense, really good. These guys were fantastic at defending against bots. Now, a lot of the action's happening over here, but Corey is just being pressured so hard. Corey's just gotten here, and seconds already dropped him. So low on health. So we've got these two battling it out, and they're both sitting in the Mama's Squeeze, and then Corey is just being dominated over here by second. It's insane. There's just no way for these guys to push through. Tyrant Star does a good effort to try and get around the back to get rid of that healing turret, but Zulan dies to the healing turret. The Tyrant's pushed into this corner here and look, pressured. Second comes over just to get rid of him. Zulan and Corey's trying their best to get in and apply some pressure, but it's not happening. Level 12 siege bot comes out. And you can imagine what happens from here. It's just domination. So we'll move on to the next game. Alright, so here we go. So there is a swap. So we see Crying's moved off onto Carl, which is interesting. I thought Crying did really well on Piper. I felt like Crying probably should have stuck on Piper, but I'm sure they had a reason to swap. They're the pros, not me. And Zulan's changed over onto Piper, and Corey's gone onto Pam, I believe. So it's really interesting, and I think it was a good switch. I don't think the Carl was working too well after those openings kept on being exposed. So I think they made a good decision there. So they're already doing really well applying pressure. Working together as a team, second's quite low, so is Corey. Fortunately, they couldn't convert that pressure into bolts. So first bot's going to come in from IX Gaming. And that's alright. This first wave, it's a small bot, and I think this was more about charging up their supers, and we already know these guys are fantastic at defense. So 2% damage, that's fine. Now, once again, Zar controlling this corner. Zars controls this corner so well in all three of these games. It's crazy. And you can see already applying pressure down onto Tyrant Star on the right lane. Zulan wants to come in through mid, but that's where second is. And Crying's hiding here, ready to take on Corey on the left lane. So after making that great push, they've set up, which is so important after a fight. Set up for the next fight. Know what you're going to do, know your matchups. So this is really, really great. Take that away as well. These guys, they set up and they are ready to go into the next fight. So second drops speed boost on Zar, but look at that. This is something they couldn't do before and they can do now. Zulan has opened up that corner. Means they don't have cover, but it also means Zar can't use that cover anymore. This is where Zar's strongest power is controlling this area, and no longer can Zar control that area. So automatically you've pushed Zar back, probably behind this wall, because Zar doesn't have this corner. Yeah, they're exposed, but Zar was the one taking advantage of that cover. So really, really good play by Omen Elite there. And look at that, they immediately take out second and Zar just from opening up that corner. So they found that one weakness they could put on IX Gaming. So good, fantastic. Look at that. Crying's nearly taken out. And here we go again. Zulan exposing it again. Fantastic. So they see another. Zar tried to set up there. Zulan removes it. There's no setup. Put Zar on the back foot instead of it being Omen Elite's Pam that was on the back foot. Zar now no longer has areas to control because Zulan is handling that. Fantastic. It's such a good play. It's all about taking control away from your opponents. And Zulan does a fantastic job at that. Now, that is a questionable healing turret. I think I know why Corey did it. It was also for cover because second was starting to apply some pressure. But it's very exposed and then it's removed. Now Zar starts to attempt to take control over on the top right. Then we lose Tyrant Star. Pressure comes down. Second and Crying come out. That's basically Corey's removed. It's just Zulan, Tyrant Star's just respawning, but they've retaken control of the center. and at this point it's just an intense game. They've retaken control. It's 15-15 tie on the last siege. Now Omen Elite have to get damage onto the enemy Ike in order to win this. So watch this. Fantastic. Great dive. Great dive. Tyrant Star defended that fantastically as well. Just fantastic. So they end up taking that round. And the interesting thing is the reason I love this fight so much on Siege is because IX Gaming looks like they should win that. They controlled the center so well throughout all of that. Throughout all of that, they were so good at controlling. And Omen Elite come in a bit funny on the control, some questionable decisions, but at the end of the day, they end up taking it, just completely taking the game. They get the 2 wins that they needed, and they take that set, and they go on to the tiebreaker round, which, like I said, if you haven't watched this, watch it. Watch all of it. It's fantastic. The tiebreaker round. Every game that Omen Elite played with IX Gaming was it was an edge of your seat gaming experience. They did amazingly, and it's just Omen Elite. They really take that at the end. That dive right at the end. They saw the weakness where they could apply pressure on that last round. Zulan swapping onto Piper to remove the walls and apply pressure on the enemy team as well. And I'm sure it was also in a way to help counter the enemy Piper, which they ended up switching off onto Carl. Again, not sure why, but I'm sure they had their reasons. That's not for me to know. But I want to do more of these. I want to break down these. So if you liked it, or if you have any suggestions on how I can sort of improve it, let me know. And if you have stuck around this whole time, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. And yeah, leave a like, let me know. I want to do Brawl Ball, the Brawl Ball Omen Elite did with IX Gaming next week. I want to sort of break that down as well, and just sort of discuss some of the things that the pro players do that you might be able to take away into your own games. Because I know watching it, I see some things, and obviously these guys, they're playing in teams, they're communicating, and it's not something you can do with the randoms that you're playing with every day. But it is some of the things they do you can take away and apply into your own games. So I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, thank you.